Alright, so I am making a sketch right now. The waist of the dress is a peplum skirt. Okay, now at the bottom, we'll be adding some ruffles at the bottom of the dress. Just a little ruffles, not a whole lot. Okay. Now, of course, we have to go with a little bit of hair. And this is for 18 months old baby. Of course, we have to Okay, so from the shoulder to the waistline, I am using 9 inches. And for the waist or the shoulder around, the chest around is 20 inches. So what I'm going to do here is cut my fabric to be, of course, 9.5, including the sewing allowance. And for the chest around, I am going to cut for 20.5 for the front and 20.5 for the back. Okay. See? Instead of making it a box cut, I'm making it a curve. You see it? And for the armhole, I am doing the same thing. Okay? Like that. All right, you see? And this is for the shoulder where I have the slanted shape. You see how it's not necessarily straight and it's not all the way slanted as well. So that's what we have. Now for the bottom part, if you can see the mark right where I measured, I'm going to trace that part as well. Now this is a paper, so it's not, if it's the actual fabric, I'm actually going to add a little bit more inches at the bottom, preferably a 0.5 inches allowance, just to have the sewing extra space for the sewing. So now what I'm going to do next is to transfer my paper onto my fabric and cut out what I need. And also I am going to measure out the bottom part. All right, so to achieve the look for this dress, I am going to measure. Say, let's pretend this is the fabric. So I'm going to measure from the shoulder down. Of course, for the fabric, I'm using 10, okay, for the length. Now, what I'm going to do here is to first measure the armhole, which is 3 inches down, okay? So I'm going to put a line right there for 3 inches, okay? Next up, to achieve the neck, the chest area, I am going with 5. So this is just perfect. I'm putting a mark right there. And like I said, I'm going to measure all the way down to 10. This is for the dress length before adding the ruffles at the bottom, the pleats at the bottom. Now, for the back, I'm working with 6. So for the back, I am going to measure for 3.5. That will be in addition to the sewing allowance. Now what I'm going to do here is to connect that 3.5 point to the chest line. Okay, now remember this line that I first drew. All right, so I'm going to measure 3 inches and a half at the top. Now this is for the, this is in order to cut the sleeves, okay? So I'm going to go down.
What I'm going to do at the top is to give it a slanted shape at the top, because you don't want the shoulder to be a straight shoulder. We want it to be slightly slanted. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out this shape, okay? I'm going to cut out this part because this is the O. And for the neck, I am measuring down 2 inches, okay? And 2 and 1 inch on the side, okay? Again, I am going to connect the 1 inch to the 1 inch, to the 2 inches, okay? 1 inch down, 2 inches. All right, so what I'm going to do next is to cut this part out. I'm tracing this part and cutting it out. Okay. See? Instead of making it a box cut, I'm making it a curve. You see it? And for the armhole, I am doing the same thing. Okay? Like that. All right, you see? And this is for the shoulder, where I have the slanted shape. You see how it's not necessarily straight and it's not all the way slanted as well. So that's what we have. Now for the bottom part, if you can see the mark right where I measured, I'm going to trace that part as well. Now this is a paper, so it's not, if it's the actual fabric, I'm actually going to add a little bit more inches at the bottom, preferably a 0.5 inches allowance, just to have the sewing extra space for the sewing. So now what I'm going to do next is to transfer my paper onto my fabric and cut out what I need. And also I'm going to measure out the bottom part. Okay, now, so for the bottom part, it's pretty easy. So what you want to do is to take your fabric and you want to fold it into two, okay? So what you want to do for this part is to measure out 4 inches down, and I believe this is already 4 inches. You want to measure 4 inches down, strip down, and about, say, 20 inches all around for the fabric, depending on what you have. So you want to, for me, I am working with, the waist is 18 inches, so my fabric will be 36 inches in total. So you want to get 20, my apologies, you want to measure your fabric to be about 40 inches in terms of the is it a width? In terms of the amount of fabric that you choose to, that you decide on cutting. So this is what you want it to be. You want it to be like this, but you want it to be longer, depending on the size of the dress that you're making. So let's pretend that this is 40 inches long and 4 inches in terms of the length. So when I'm done, we are going to pleat it like so, okay? Pleat it like so, and we're finished, hem the bottom. So that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty simple. Again, if you're... Okay.
Okay, so this is what I mean by the 3 inches. Take your tape, get you a chalk. Take your tape, get you a chalk. 3.5. Okay. Okay. Take your scissors. Cut out what you need. And now I am hemming the trim. Okay, so now I just finished hemming the trim before making my ruffles. So now
I am making the ruffles. I'm fixing it forward.
right, so far this is what I have. I'm still going. The ruffles isn't completely done. I'm still going. And of course I sewed this ruffles right on the circle skirt. Okay. And I am going to finish this up right.
All right, so here we have it. Here's the front. I think I'm going to bring the front chest. The front part, I think I'm going to bring that part a little bit down. Here's the lining. Going to be placed over it. Okay. I'm going to bring the front part down, both for the lining and the actual. Okay. Okay. Now I'm connecting the front with the back. Okay, this is the front and here's the back. So I am sewing from the shoulders. Okay. I'm also going to sew this part down. And once I'm done with that part, I'm also going to join it from side to side. Okay. I'm going to connect it from side to side like so. Alright, then I'm going to sew the lining just the same way. I'll show you. Alright, this is what I mean by joining it side to side. As you can see, I've already connected it here. Same with the shoulder and this side. Now, once I turn it around, once I have it turned around, I can also plate the lining the same way, and then I'm going to connect it together. Now for the back of this dress, I think I'm going to bring it down a little bit. So I'm going to create a little V shape at the back, and as you can see, I just have it folded like this, and I'm going to measure down about 4 inches, create a slanted shape line like this, and cut out the part that I do not need. Okay, again, fold in the back into two, like this. Then I'm going to have it folded like this, and I'm going to cut out what I do not need. Alright, so I just finished lining the inside, lining the top part of the dress. As you can see, there's the neck, the shoulders. Now for the sleeves, I'm still thinking about what I'm going to put, but if I do not put any sleeves, I'm just going to sew it down like this. Okay, I'm just going to close it in with the lining. Okay, now I am connecting the top piece with the bottom. Okay, because the bottom is already completed. Okay, I have it, it's already done with the ruffles. I just need to iron it. So I'm just going to attach the waistline to the top. Alright, okay, so here's the top part. As you can see, here's the back. I have the V shape at the back. So now I am going to take the skirt. Okay, now as you can see, I have it like this. The side, I already have it ironed. As you can see, there's a line. As you can see, there's a line on the side here. That way I know where to start my pleats from, okay? Now I am going to take the skirt from the side. I'm going to look for the side of the top, not the back. I'm not starting from the back, but I'm starting from the side. One here, where I have it joined, and the second here. So I'm going to start and connect both sides together. Take it under the machine. Okay, then I'm going to sew it down. Okay, sewing it together like so. Now, if I need to pleat it for any reason on the waistline, I will do so, depending on if I have too much fabric. But so far, I do not have too much fabric. I just have quite enough. However, I think I have too much at the back, but I don't think so. No, it's okay. So I'm sewing it all the way to the back area. Getting my scissors. Okay. This is coming out so beautiful, guys. I wasn't expecting it to look so nice, but it is. Okay. Okay, now that is done. And we have it. Okay. You see that? Alright, so for this part, I do happen to have too much of the fabric, so I'm just going to take that part out. Okay, but here's it, guys. Alright. Next up, I need to close the sleeves. And then I need to put a zipper at the back. Okay, and I'm going to do that by, like I said, I'm going to cut the leftover fabric out, or the excess fabric out, should I say. Okay, that is out. I have it open. Then I'm going to sew my zipper on both sides. But so far, this is it. Okay, nice and simple, nothing too crazy. Just a nice simple dress. But I do love the frills at the bottom. It's so pretty. And I love the color. And just look at the pearls, guys. Okay, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's simple, but it's nice. Okay. Alright, so now you want to take your fabric and then you want to measure 6 inches for both sides, for the length and for the width. Okay, now once you have 6 inches, I'm going to leave this one just like this and cut out what I don't need. Once you have your 6 inches, and again, remember this is on fold. Okay, so we want it to be 6 inches all around, 6 inches in the middle, 6 inches wide. This is a little bit big, so I'm going to cut some out. Now another thing that you want to have into your fabric cut is a interfacing. Okay, you want to get you an interfacing and you want to apply it inside of your fabric cut. And once you have that, you want to trim away unnecessary fabrics and ends. Okay, we trim all of the stuff that we do not need away, then simply just sew it down. Okay, now for this particular fabric, for this bow, I am going to leave one of the sides open. That way I have an opening to turn it around. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around like so. Okay, I have it turned around. And next up, I am going to iron. Okay, I have to close this part. Okay. Once I have it sewn, okay, I'm going to close the part that I do not want open. So now, for this part, once I iron it and everything is smooth, I am going to turn this pocket. I'm going to flip it inside, okay? So once I have it flipped like this and iron, I sew it down, okay? I'm going to close it like this. And again, remember, once I have it ironed, it should be smooth. All right, so once I have it sewn, and I'm going to create my loop.
All right, so I just finished sewing and closing the bow. Now I'm going to take this and stitch it to the side. And once that is complete, I will add on a little accessory on top of the bow right here. Okay, so this is the last part, really. The bow is already done, so I'm just heading it. So now I have this purse in my hand, and I am going to place it one by one right on the bow, using my, of course, my